Do you want to watch the Halloween Blu-ray?
Yeah, sure.
Why'd you get so scared? Did you think I was going to kill you or something?
Yes.
I was.
Hey there guys, how are you? So if you just watched the intro, that's typically how I ask my girlfriend to watch every single movie with me. I know, it's creepy, but necessary. So now let's talk about Halloween 1978, the quintessential horror film in my opinion, and a must-watch every Halloween season. Now this movie's been reviewed and talked about to death, no pun intended, but you know what? I have a few things to say about the movie that you might not have heard yet, and also I want to talk about some childhood memories I have with this movie. And because I want to quickly dive into the darkness and evil, I don't want to waste your time reiterating a synopsis, so here you go. Here's the plot to Halloween. You got it? Alright, let's go. Now, I remember the very first time I ever watched Halloween, and it was back in 1995. Me and my family got in our car and we drove to the video rental store. That was when Blockbuster still existed, and you had to go from one location to another location to rent a movie. It was a magical experience, and I miss it. And I remember being a young, stupid little kid, and I'd run around Blockbuster, and I'd want to buy gumballs from the gumball machine. That's besides the point. But what happened was I discovered a VHS copy of Halloween. This very one right here, and it was around Halloween time, and I was like, I gotta check this movie out. It looks awesome. So I took it home, I immediately watched it, and I fell in love with the movie ever since the first viewing. Those were the days. I miss Blockbuster. Just something about that. That's just the smell. I can still smell it. And with all that said, let's dive into some detail. Halloween's directed by John Carpenter, who also directed Escape from New York, one of my favorite movies of all time as well. And my favorite thing about John Carpenter is he not only directs his own movies, but he also composes them. And he has a very symphonic sound to all of his films. Now, I don't know about you, but every time I hear the Halloween theme song, it sends chills down my spine, and I instantly start looking around, waiting for a guy in a William Shatner mask to come out and stab me in the heart. Away from me! Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's very late at night, I'm all alone right now, and just having this mask right here scares the shit out of me. Now, like I said before, Halloween came out in 1978, and it really set the standard for horror films to come after it. In my opinion, it still lives up. It's almost a timeless movie, and the reason for that is it's very simplistic, it's very streamlined, and it sticks to the point. The two things that Halloween does perfectly is storytelling and suspense. It's not filled with bloated, over-the-top gags. It's very, very simplistic, and the reason for that is the movie didn't have a huge budget. It had a moderate to small budget, and they had limitations, and in my opinion, those limitations are what made the movie so good. And without those limitations, had the movie had a larger budget, the original idea and concept behind the movie was to call it The Babysitter Murderer. Yeah, that's what they originally wanted to go with, and the movie took place over the course of several days. Not as catchy as Halloween, is it? Now, from a technical standpoint, is Halloween the most complex film ever made? No, it's very low-key and very simple, and that simplicity is what makes the film really work. But that's not to say there isn't a lot of creativity and ingenuity throughout the movie. For example, you take the opening shot of the movie, which is my favorite scene in the entire movie, and it's this POV tracking shot, and it's the point of view of young Michael Myers walking up to the house, getting ready to stab his sister to death in her bedroom. Now, as far as that scene goes, it was one of the first uses of Steadicam, and it's just shot perfectly. There's technically 3 cuts in that scene, but you would never know that. And another one of my favorite scenes in the film is, it's very subtle, but it's when young Tommy looks out the window and sees Michael Myers' silhouette body standing in front of the house across the street. Every time I think about that scene, it sends chills down my body, because ever since I was a kid, every time I looked out a window late at night, I just expected to see that same visual outside of my window across the street, and I still do to this day. And that's just one of the many things that always resonated with me about this film, and that's how I always knew it was a quality film, because it always stuck with me. And I guess that's one of my questions for you guys. Has there ever been a scary visual or something that happened in a horror film that always just stuck with you? Now, since I've been praising Halloween, is this a perfect movie? No, not at all. You have the character of Laurie Strode's best friend, Linda, and this character just is so cringy, you just want her to brutally die as quickly as possible. Yeah, totally. I always forget my books. My math book, my physics book, my history book. Now, my other nitpicky complaint with Halloween was it was shot during the springtime. This is a movie called Halloween. And when you have a movie like this, the atmosphere and the visuals should really look like it's fall. The leaves should be falling. It should be orange and browns. But if you watch this movie, it's pure green. Everything looks bright and crisp like it's summertime. And yeah, they try to sprinkle a few dead leaves throughout the movie, but it really doesn't look like Halloween or fall time. And once again, that was due to budget constraints and they did what they could, but that's my only thing I wish they could change. Now back to a positive note, I really enjoyed Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in this movie. I really bought into Donald Pleasance, as Dr. Loomis. And the reason I really enjoyed Dr. Loomis's character in this film is because he really sets up the backstory and exposition behind Michael Myers. He makes you believe Michael Myers is evil and he should not be out in society. Here are my final flicking thoughts on Halloween. The movie does such a good job at building suspense and putting you on the edge of your seat. When something finally does happen, you're so immersed into it, you buy into it. And the last thing I want to talk about is the antagonist of the film, Michael Myers himself. He's a man of few words, but his body language really conveys what's happening. Just his slow head turns when he walks into a room. Just little things like that really make him the character that he is. And even that iconic Michael Myers mask. Once again, due to budget limitations, they just found the cheapest, shittiest mask they could and made it work. And it turned out to be one of the most iconic film characters ever. So yeah, this movie just got everything right. I'm going to give Halloween a solid A. Sure, there's some cringy acting throughout the movie, but besides that, it's nearly a perfect movie. And I love it. I watch it every single Halloween, and it just never gets old. It's one of those movies that will live on forever. All right, so that's my take on Halloween. Now here's my question for you guys, and let me know down below, what do you guys think about this movie? Or what scary horror film always stuck with you since watching it as a younger kid? Yeah, let me know that down below as well. And also, before I go, I wanted to let you guys know I do have a second channel called John Flickster. Link to that channel is down below. And over on that second channel, I have a new vlog video where me and my girlfriend Brittany, we go to the store, we try on Halloween costumes. So yeah, if you guys are still in the Halloween vibe and you want more videos, well yeah, definitely check out my second channel. As always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way, I can see you next time.